Well, I got a big problem because I don't understand what's the end game. That is his quarterback. And I get it, Skip. Hey, how about, hey, we have to limit our turnovers because while, obviously we want to push the ball down the field. We like the big play potential that we have with Dak Prescott, but we just got to make sure we keep the ball out of harm's way because when you play these teams, if you turn the ball over, you allow a team that you're considerably better than to hang around with an opportunity to beat you late in the ball game. And come playoff time, you pay double for turnovers. You turn the ball over more, the more you turn it over, the greater your chance is to lose that ball game. Cowboys saw this last year when they played the San Francisco 49ers. They had the turnover. They ended up costing being the difference in the ball game. But Skip, for him to say, well, I like aggressiveness without turnover, who doesn't? But in order to, Skip, I'll give you Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady is really conservative. He only has 5 interceptions, but he only has 16 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes on the flip side, he has 33 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Now, which offense would you rather have? A guy that pushes the ball down the field? You saw what you had with Cooper Rush. You play that style. You're not winning with the style that Cooper Rush forced you to play.
Although he did win. He won, 4 out of 5, but go ahead.
So you believe, let me ask you a question. You believe you can win a Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl with Cooper Rush?
I'm not writing that completely off, but the defense would have to play like the Ravens did in, 2000. You'd have to play at that kind of level.
We just saw them give 25 points, give 20-something points up to a team that hadn't scored more than 20 since week 7. So are you sure?
No.
Because the Ravens that year gave up 10 points a game.
There have been times this year I have been sure of that, but right now I'm not completely sold on my defense either. So I give you that.
And plus, Skip, you got CD. It's CD or bust. Now, CD pulled a disappearing act for you. He had 5 for 33. That can't be your number one.
I'll take 5, but it needs to be for 85, like T.Y. Hilton had against Dallas back in 2018.
And maybe a touchdown, sprinkle a touchdown in there, Skip. But when your leading receiver is Dalton Schultz, and your number one receiver is CeeDee Lamb, there's something out of place here. I mean, I think he's nice. I like him. He's a great receiving tight end. But he ain't Travis Kelce. He's not Mark Andrews.
He is not.
So for him to be your leading receiver...
All that I love about him is that Dak loves him. That's all I know. But go ahead.
But, Skip, I just think the thing is, I just think Jerry sometimes can be his own worst enemy because I don't really get his end game. I don't know what he hoped to accomplish. He's like, oh, yeah, that's going to really pep Dak up. That's going to really light a fire up under Dak. Dak's going to like, man, I wish you'd be quiet because you heard Dak after the game. Skip, he said, nah, I just got to do a better job of protecting the football. That's on me, and I will do a better job.
Yep.
But, Jerry, come on, bro. Everything that's on your mind, you don't have to say it.
Okay, but... what else is new? It's like another day, another Jerry head scratcher. Like, there's nothing he said that was wrong.
No.
In fact, all he did was acknowledge the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Who is my quarterback.
Yes.
Who's on a bad run here with the interceptions because he's played, 8 games this year, and he's had 9 interceptions in 8 games. And it's a bad trend. It's not just a blip. It's a trend where every game he has a couple of interceptions, it feels like. And they're scary interceptions where they're dangerous. They're forced interceptions.
Right.
And everything Jerry said was correct. But to your point, it does you exactly what good. If Dak were just brazenly not acknowledging, like saying, I'm playing great. If he just kept saying, no, I'm
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, like that.
No, I'm good.
Like I'm good. But that's not what he's doing because he was actually his own worst critic after the game because I thought almost to a fault, Dak was just tearing himself apart. And it felt like he was going to go home on Sunday night and just beat himself up all night long.
Yes.
Because he's saying, I'm damn sure not a fan of that, meaning all the interceptions he's thrown. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Damn sure I've got to be smarter and just weigh the risk versus the split-second reward. It's just part of my preparation, something I promise y'all I will clean up. Well, he just pounded on himself like the way we're pounding on him as fans. We're saying, you can't do that because...
Skip, he just outlined it. Is the risk worth the reward I could possibly get? And he says, you know what, I got to weigh that. And I only get a split second. It's not like, you know what?
It's a split second, man.
No.
Okay, but that's why you're paid $40 million a year. It is your responsibility. You hold the fate of the football team in your hands almost every snap because it's up to you to make that split-second decision.
Yes.
And what did you say on Monday? You can't keep doing that because if you do that against
the Eagles, they're going to blow you out.
That's what I'm saying. But is Houston the worst team? I guess we could
one
say
of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the NFL.
But it's arguably the worst
Correct.
team. 1-10-1 coming into the game.
Yes.
Or they're now 1-10-1, whatever. But the point is, if you're going to do it there and you're going to keep them alive in a game that you and I predicted would be 38-10 Dallas, well, if you do it against the Eagles, you're going to get blown.
Yeah.
And if you do it in a first-round playoff game, I don't care where it is against whom you're playing, you're going to lose the game because when the stakes get that high, you know and I know, if you throw 2 picks in a playoff game, it's hard to overcome it.
The momentum swings is just so great in a playoff game versus the regular season.
So you went and won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer, but I don't remember him mucking it up. I don't remember that many mistakes.
If I'm not mistaken, Skip, I think in the 4 playoff games, I think we turned the ball over once. But our defense was averaging giving up 6 points a game.
Do you think he turned it over? Or you can't remember?
We know he threw a pick against the Raiders in the championship game.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay. And it was a close call.
We ended up winning 16-3.
Yeah, 16-3. It was the game you
we caught the long one. Yeah. But the first game we won 21-3. He didn't turn it over. We won 24-10. We got a pick by Ray, blocked field goal. In the championship game and in the Super Bowl, we blew them out.
And I was there at Tennessee for the championship game, and I don't remember.
No, he didn't turn it over. I think we had 1 turnover.
Okay, it didn't really matter what you did because
listen, if they didn't get a pick 6 or a scoop and score, they weren't going to score.
They just weren't going to score. But the point is, you can do that.
Yes.
Again, you had an all-time great defense.
Yes.
It's arguably the greatest. You could argue with all kinds of other defenses, but it's a top 5.
Oh, absolutely, no question about that.
Absolutely top 5, maybe top 3.
Yeah.
My point is, if the quarterback can game manage. It's not even game managing. It's just don't screw it up, man.
Right.
Don't screw it up. You just hand the ball off cleanly, make the right reads at the right time, make the one throw to big play Shea, hit him in the hands with it when it's time to make that throw. You can win a whole lot of football games.
Skip, they won't let you play defense like the Ravens play defense because we was knocking people's quarterback out of the game.
Yeah, you were.
So if rest your soul, Goose, if you do what Goose did to Rich Gannon, they're probably going to throw you out the game, but you definitely getting a penalty.
All right. So something is going on with Dak, and it's going south with Dak. So this is, again, elephant in the room, because if I look at the numbers, when he first came into the league for the first 4 years, his pass interception ratio was 13th among the 97 quarterbacks ranked.
Right.
Well, you can go win a whole bunch of games like that, and then all of a sudden, his rate this year is 3rd worst among 40 qualified quarterbacks, and the only worst ones are Jameis and Justin Fields.
Right.
So he's down there with Jameis and Justin Fields for making bad decisions.
Yes, but he fooled him, Skip. Dak thought he was going to go with the cross, and he turned right back because that's how the Broncos got him last year a couple of times.
And he's had trouble with any sort of option route down the middle of the field where they haven't, for whatever reason, been on the same page.
Right.
So it scares me because there's a lot of pressure on this young man to live up to what Cooper Rush did, not in individual performance, just in the overall performance of the football team. You want to go. I told you, the good news was the bar got raised, and when Dak came back, it's not like, well, Cooper Rush saved the season to the point that he handed the baton back to Dak, and we're still afloat.
He kept in position to still win the division.
Okay.
But, Skip, this is who Dak is. If you look at his rookie year, he's 23-4. The next year, he's
23 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
And then he goes 22-13. You see? Okay, he goes 22-8 and 30-11. Then he goes 9-4. He gets hurt. He goes 37-10, and now he's back up to 14-9. So it's kind of been the inconsistency, the up and down. Skip, did you really think Dak Prescott was a 37-10 guy, and that's kind of how he's going to be moving forward?
No.
That's a Patrick Mahomes. That's a Rodgers. That's a Skip. That's a level reserved for the greatest of the greats. That's Brady, Manning, Mahomes. Those type of, and Rodgers.
And
they
remember,
do that.
He set the franchise record for touchdown passes last year. How did he do that? Because the final game was at Philadelphia, and literally they played their practice squad.
Yeah, he threw I think he threw 5 in that game.
5-0.
Yeah.
5-0. Well, it was a joke. It was a scrimmage game.
Right.
It was a mismatch, and you took advantage. But you want to talk about stat padding? you set a record that deserves an asterisk beside it, right?
But Skip, if you look at the Cowboys' offensive numbers since Dak has been back, because the offensive numbers were so low with Cooper Rush, they're still kind of middle of the pack, but they're number one in scoring. They're number one in third down conversion. You look at them in the red zone. So this is a much better offense with Dak as opposed to Cooper Rush. Now you say, well, I don't get the turnovers, but you don't get the firepower that Dak gives you also.
Okay, I got it. But he's now 19th in QBR, and that's kind of who he is, right?
Yeah.
He's graded by Pro Football Focus as the 19th best quarterback. So that's kind of who he is. But you and I have had him occasionally on the edge of the top 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yes.
But he's more middle of the pack Dak.
Right.
But the saving grace for my guy, Dak Prescott, number 4, is that within the confines of the same game, he can throw 2 picks, and then he can be flawless in a 98-yard drive that wins the game because he's capable of being the 98-yard Dak.
Right. But it's Skip. But you said, I remember we had this conversation on Monday, and you said, well, he's more of the 98. No, he's not. He's in between. He's the guy
for this year, I'm just hoping that I get more 98-yard Dak than I get middle of the pack.
Skip, you got 7 years sample size. You got a 7-year sample size, and it's been what?
Okay, but even you have acknowledged they are capable of making a run.
Yes.
Well, if they're going to make a run, then I need a small sample size of 2 or 3 playoff games in which Dak let's just do 2. I need 2 straight playoff games. Both of them potentially on the road. In which he plays 98-yard drive Dak.
Right.
Where we have no turnovers and he throws 2 or 3 touchdown passes. Is he capable? Sure, he's capable.
But he's also capable of throwing
he's highly capable.
Interceptions also.
So Jerry is just acknowledging the obvious that doesn't need to be acknowledged. Because where did it get the football team? What good is he going to light a new fire under Dak?
No.
Dak's already set himself on fire. Right.
Yeah, it just comes across, Skip, as like he's belittling or chastising his quarterback when his quarterback has already taken himself to the woodshed.
Every time Jerry goes on his radio show, I think he has a couple of them, he's just trying to impress you. The underlying message is always, I know football. I know football.
You took the word right. Jerry's trying to impress people with his football knowledge.
Let me explain to you what's going on here. I like aggressiveness, but not with interception. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
everybody does.
That's sort of the essence of playing quarterback?
Yes. Sometimes you get a guy like a Brett Favre that a lot of times he was too aggressive. But in order to Skip, no risk it, no biscuit. You've got to take chances if you want points. And I get what he's saying. When you backed up like that, let's be a little bit more cautious, because I'd rather punt the football and make them drive 40, 50 yards as opposed to giving them the ball on the 4-yard line. We get that, Jerry.
All right. Jerry being Jerry.
Well, Skip, if the Cowboys can get a win this weekend, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. First back-to-back postseason appearances since 06-07.
Wow.
We will see. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.